Our mission is to connect people with their finances again. That can be small business, it can be consumers, but it also includes the financial institutions and the companies that are serving them. So we want to reconnect those, be a bridge between the financial institutions, which are providing solid products that people want to use. It's a great experience when you take out your credit card, tap it on a terminal, get your morning coffee, and walk about your day, right? All the work to make that happen is hard, and there's great companies doing that. But the consumers didn't really understand how their money was being used, where it was going, how they were making use of it. So we wanted to kind of bridge that together and help the consumers and the companies serving them both be better off. Our focus on privacy is a big part of that. We started from this concept that it's the consumer's data, it belongs to them, and it should be there to serve them. And the only way that's true is if privacy is built into everything you do. And so our basic premise was we will not sell the data, we will not share it, we will not do anything that you don't want us to do. And that really has carried through and now has become a core strength of the company, where a lot of companies probably back when we started doing that would have thought that that was not particularly a strength, because it does cut off some of those monetization routes. But we were happy to leave those aside because we thought it was so important. We were at the point of the app was pretty successful and growing, and we were looking to monetize the company. And by monetize, we didn't want to do any of the gray to black sort of activities like selling data to third parties or advertising, not really healthy products to consumers, which are sort of the typical ways that you can think about using a data set like the one we have access to, but that was against our privacy promise. So we had to kind of ignore the easy path in order to maintain our focus on privacy, and that added the challenge of, okay, well, every venture capitalist said, if you're going to ignore the easy path, you have to tell us what the hard path is and why we should support you on that journey. And so that was a big challenge closing our Series A, because we didn't really have the answer yet on this will do it versus sort of the known methods that were out there. It became Moneytree Link. So at that time, the accounting vendors here in Japan were being challenged by new entrants like Free, who had data aggregation that they had built themselves. So those companies came to us and said, we want data aggregation. And we said, well, we can only do it in a way that matches what we've already promised our consumers, which is we won't share your data without your permission. And so that really became the basis of Moneytree Link, which is our sharing platform that's completely leaves the customer in control. So they can say, I want my data to go to this third party, or I don't. And it doesn't go unless they say yes. And now, fast forward about 5 years after that, open banking and the regulators have come around to pretty much that stance. Going back to the early days, when we launched the product, we knew we were going to get extremely busy. And that was true. There was a few days where I never even left my desk. People would bring me food for lunch, and I would be trying to fix problems and make sure things were working, and then try to eat, and then get back and fix problems. So we knew that was going to happen, and we wanted to reward the team for getting to launch, and also to have a little fun before we kind of went into that gauntlet. And so we all went to Chiba and played Airsoft, which in Japanese they call a survival game, which is pretty fun, and basically shot each other and other people with pellets and ran around and had a really great time that weekend. And then mentally got ready to go into the launch time when we knew we'd spend days basically at our computer just making things go. I like our expense tracking feature. As a startup founder, you tend to put a lot of company expenses, especially in the early days, on your personal credit cards, and having a way to automatically detect them and track them for me, and make sure that I know which expenses are for the company and which ones are for myself, really is a useful feature to have. Moneytree is a company and technologies that help connect people back to their money, put them back in control, and be better off.